So we got a 3-pack of 43 millimeter bone nuts for acoustic or electric guitars. So I need a new nut on the Gibson Epiphone Strat because I shaved the plastic nut down just a little too low, and the low E is buzzing like crazy when open fretted. And I think we're going to try to fit one of these in the vintage FG-75 Yamaha acoustics as well. We got another set of Fender Voodoo Child strings, just in case we have a problem just making these adjustments and a string pops or comes just too unwound, you know, just from all the tuning and retuning and loosening up and taking the strings off, etc., etc. And I have another set of the Diodario Silk and Steel EJ40s for the acoustic if we have the same issue with it. You can see the original there has a slight angle from the bottom, so we need to try to recreate that tilt probably by sanding. Sorry, cat, just knocked a bunch of stuff over. Sanding this at an angle so it tilts a little bit forward there like that. So we measured it so far at 2.5 millimeters on the low E 6 string, so that is high. Probably need it between 1.5 and 2 millimeters. We are about 1.5 millimeters at the nut, the first fret here on the low E string. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, at the 12th fret, we're closer to 3 millimeters. So we can try again to lower the action. It's possible that it's a neck issue, or going back to that, or a shim issue, needing a shim. But I don't know where my straight edge for my guitar is, so I might have to order another one to make sure the neck is actually adjusted properly to get it as close as possible. But you know, that's probably what we need to do before we attempt to shim this guitar. Now let's try to lower the saddles again, see if we can lower it and not get the buzz that we had before. It looks like about 2.5 millimeters is as far low as I can get on the 12th fret without that string buzz, and it seems to be happening on the last fret, that fret right there. So no matter where I fret the board, you know, up the neck, when it's too low, seems like it's buzzing at that last one. I tried to rock it, you know, with this little string gauge meter, and it doesn't seem to be any height issue. It seems to be level with the other frets surrounded it. That doesn't mean down the neck, you know, if you go a significant way, that there isn't a different angle from here to the middle of the neck or something. So it could be a truss rod adjustment issue, or maybe needing shimmed. But I definitely am not going to get it at 1.5 millimeters without some kind of significant fix. So I tried to lower the action of all the strings, and pretty much all of them were already set to about the lowest they could go, besides the one we just did, and we got, you know, 0.5 millimeter or whatever that was down. But what I did notice is that the pickup here, when I put the first E string on it, and it is so close to that pickup there, I'm probably going to have to lower the pickup, and we're going to have to go ahead and readjust the pickups. And when we do this in really hard, the low E, sometimes it has like almost an explosive sound, so maybe it's some kind of magnetic issue with being too close to the pickups. We'll see. We'll adjust it a little bit and see if we can get them sounding a little bit better. I think we're just going to go ahead and take the neck off, see if we can shim it, see if we can get the action just a little bit lower. See if there's a shim already in there. You never know. Sometimes from the factory, I think they do them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the company, I guess, that resells the guitars, shim them or whatever if the action's too high or something's off. I've seen a few that had shims already in them, fenders and stuff. This is epiphone, so not sure. We'll see. And we'll see if we can get it fixed, or at least get it even better than it is. So here's the neck pocket. No shim was already there. Just, you can see the factory paint too. The black went into the neck pocket there when they painted it black. So basically we got a cereal box top here, and I've just used my fingers to rip it. You can be fancy and either custom cut it to wherever you're going to shim it at. Are you going to shim it at the back, or are you going to shim it at the front? So for the fret buzz at the back of the neck, you usually shim it at the front portion here, so it gives it a slight tilt backwards, and hopefully it'll eliminate that buzzing at the last fret there. You kind of just want to put it here, and you don't really want it to show after the neck's on, so you can cut it or whatever, and then you can hope for the best. Do you need double shims? You can buy different shims that are made out of wood, that are made of different thicknesses, but this is what a lot of people use, just what they already have available. So let's see if that made a difference. So I worked on this guy for hours. I shimmed it, double shimmed it. Seemed like the action raised on it no matter what. So like I said, I double shimmed it, making sure it had the angle I wanted to get at the neck. Readjusted the action, messed with the truss rod a little bit, and ultimately came to the conclusion that shimming this guy did not fix the problem. I don't know what the problem is with that fret and why I'm not able to get the lowest action on it. I cannot see anything wrong with the fret itself, as far as it being high or whatever. So I don't think sanding it or tapping it down is probably that great of an idea. I mean, it's possible we could just sand one or a few of them down, or tap them first and see if they're all the way down, and see if that fixes the problem, see if we can lower the action more. But I don't know what we're going to do. But anyway, that's probably it for tonight. We got the new bone nut on there, and I think it's probably got some more sustain now. And there's basically an argument that it's only going to add tone or sustain or brightness or whatever to the open strings. So as soon as you fret it, put a chord on here, you're using the frets for your sustain, your tone, whatever. So it's using the frets, it's using saddles, bridge, whatever, not the actual nut. But people do a lot of chords that have open strings, playing as well. I do a lot. So hopefully it adds a little bit more sustain and tone. The other argument, or not really an argument, is that everything is better than a plastic nut. So, whether you want brass, tusk, fossilized bone, cow, whatever, buffalo, deer, everything's better than plastic. So there's the nut there, and we can even go down a little bit lower, but I don't want to go too low and just have an issue, the same issue as we had. We did get this new connector here for the guitar, but we have to solder it in, so it's not going to be on this video. Maybe we'll go ahead and work on the acoustic and the FG-75 and put a new bone nut on it before we end this video here. See how it sounds. Check out the action at the first fret of the FG-75. It's like less than a millimeter at the front. And this thing does not buzz at all at the nut. The epiphone strat would buzz like crazy at the front. Maybe it's because of the type of guitar, the silken string or silken steel strings. Maybe they don't vibrate as much or something. But that guy actually, phew, here we are at the 12th fret, and it's about 3 millimeters, which is probably about average. You know, we worked on this guy, and I'm sure it was way more than that when we started. This is the nut that we replaced just because we had an extra. It might have came from the Epiphone Les Paul Special 2 that we took it off of. It might have come from something else, but it worked. And now we got that's plastic, so now we got a bone nut to put on here. Looks like we got some shaving to do though. So that's what it sounds like on the iPhone mic, and without the bone nut yet. So I don't know if we're going to notice that much difference here and just doing it like this or not. So we got the width kind of shaved, sanded down, so it fits in that little area there where the paint or whatever is has been cleared out. But now we got to adjust the action, right? Right now it's around 1.75 to 2 right here millimeters, and the other one was less than 1. Dare we go to like 1 or less and see how it works with the bone nut? Alright, that's with the bone nut. So there's the new nut installed. Possibly could go down a little tiny bit more. You know, it's very close to the action the other one had. Maybe not quite as close, but hey, that's fine. So what else should we do with this guitar? Definitely thinking we need to go back into that saddle slot and take some gauges on both sides to make sure this side here with the low E string is the same depth as the other side, and if not, sand it out and make it closer, and then retry bone saddle in there to try to get, you know, maximum sound quality out of this guy. As you may recall, we put the bone saddle in there already and just had a dead spot on the low E side, and I think on the high E side too, I'm not sure. So there are tricks I guess you can do to make an undersaddle pickup work, but if we have this wrong, you know, the depth wrong from one side to the other, then that's probably going to affect the tone of the guitar, you know, how the saddle fits on the bridge there, you know, and that's where a lot of your tone comes from. You know, your strings are sitting over your saddle. You know, one side it's a nut and frets, and the other side it's the saddle and the bridge. If we can get all that right, I don't know, maybe we'll put a preamp in here. Maybe one that just has a little volume and tone control or something on the sound hole, and get it rigged up good, because, you know, basically I've been testing this pickup out without the preamp, without any kind of EQ system, tone control, and it's not the easiest to try to get it to sound right. I'm not sure, maybe I'll just give this guitar to somebody, you know, once I get it right. I'm not sure though. I might keep it, might give it to my kids, might give it to just somebody that wants to learn and wants a really nice vintage guitar that sounds great, easy to play, yada yada. I haven't made up my mind yet, but again, we're not done with it. Are we going to screw things up and make this thing sound like garbage or break it? Or are we going to make it sound better? Is it going to be a little hot rod acoustic guitar? Alright, I think we're going to end this video here. See you later.